Rare Books USA year 2025 wrapped. I just wanted to go through the pros, the cons, and concerns going forward of my past year in 2025 and what are things to look out for in 2026. So first, really, the pros, going over 100% revenue growth, that was awesome. You know, I had in 2024, I only did this for 6 months, and I think I made $7,000. And so for a full year to do almost 40,000 in a full year, that's awesome to see. That's the compounding effect. Another pro is I sold over 100,000 items, not 100,000. I sold over 1,000 items. So that was also awesome to see that. 5x my inventory. I went from 1,000 to 5,000. I started leaning a lot more into ephemera, postcards, and art prints, which when you talk about profit margins, those are big profit margins, easy to ship. I love it. I'm Rare Books USA. I sell rare antique vintage books. I'm going to continue to do it. But the money's in ephemera, postcards, and prints. That's what supplies. That's what's giving me so much juice, right? The books are the railways. The books get people in. You need books. You need books. But the prints, man, that is the juice. The ephemera, that is I can't even, and it's so easy because it doesn't take much to store, to ship. It is amazing. And it helps the margins increase, which is another pro. Operational costs are decreasing, which is good. And I was operationally profit. It wasn't a lot operationally profitable, but I was able to break that, and I'm able to show that. A lot of booksellers, they can't show that. Even booksellers that, I consider really good booksellers and I looked up to, and I see their numbers, they can't show you if they're operationally profitable or not. I can. And I'll continue to do it as I continue to grow. And I'm not afraid to show it. And if I'm not afraid to show it, I'm not either. And I'm not afraid to share about the cons or going concerns. Storage space, that's always a thing. I have a cheap storage space right now. It's limited. I don't have a warehouse. So that does limit, I guess, the size. But for now, it's okay. But that always is a going concern and something to think about. Another one, eBay seller capital. I have about $3,000 left of principal for my eBay seller capital that I took out right before Q4. I knocked off its simple interest and and the good portion of the principal, but I still have 3,000 left. Holiday season's over. My store is a lot bigger, but still, that's still weighing down on what I'm actually bringing home. Still, so that's always a going concern. It's not a lot, but it's something to be mindful of and something I'm trying to pay down. Obviously, revenue growth is slow. Obviously, I have goals of almost doubling my revenue from 2025 and continue that path. But as you get bigger, it gets a lot harder to grow, and so I understand that, and so that's a going concern. Revenues could slow. Revenue growth could slow. Inventory growth slowing. I do have ample storage space now, but I got to be picky. I got to be picky on what I buy. I can't go willy-nilly because I'm not really, I'm a 5,000 inventory store now. I have 600 items on Etsy, and I'm doing whatnot. So it's not like eBay is my only source where I just have to keep pumping that in. I have to space it out across 3 platforms. So inventory growth slow, especially on eBay, that could show up because it's not going to be at breakneck speed as I was. I'm not feeding the beast as much as I was, even though I am still feeding it, but it's not getting as big a plate. Rare book sourcing. You're always got to try to find the rare books, right? You're not always going to find those at thrift stores. You got to go to estate sales. You got to network. And that's a different type of skill. And that's something I'm always trying to work on. Some people are really good at that portion. They can find the rare books. They just don't know how to sell them or really operate a business. I think I'm able to operate a business. I think I'm able to sell anything. I can sell anything. but and I'm able to source 99.9% of whatever. I know what a rare book's looks like, but it's getting myself in position to get those. I need to do private collections, network, and such to get those low prices. And I want to make sure I'm maintaining profitable cost per book. I haven't done the stats yet, but I'm thinking, my cost per book was probably, $3-ish in 2025. I'd love to get that under $3. I would love to get that 250. In the future with scale, even having that under $1 or close to $1, that's the goal. Being as close to $1 as possible, I can make anything. Like, paying $1 for anything in 2026 as a reseller, you can make a profit on that if you know what you're doing. So that's where I'm at. That's my Rare Books USA year 2025 wrapped. What do you think? What are your pros? What are your cons? What are your going concerns? Let me know in the comment section, and make sure you subscribe. I'm gonna be doing topics like this periodically on the channel, and I'm gonna be very transparent about it. So if you want to learn more about my business, make sure you subscribe below.